Have you heard about the clock in Prague that counts down to your death? In 1904, a reclusive inventor named Anton Varga, known locally as the Midnight Clockmaker, built something no one could explain. A clock that didn't tell time. It told fate. Anton wasn't just an inventor. He was obsessed with rhythm, not music, not art, but the rhythm of life itself. He believed every person, every city, even the wind moved to an invisible mathematical beat. And if you could measure it, you could predict when that rhythm would stop. Neighbors said he barely slept. For 73 nights, they heard gears grinding, whispers in Latin, sometimes laughter that turned into coughing fits. They said candles flickered even when no air moved, and sometimes the walls themselves ticked. Then one foggy morning, Anton finally opened his shop doors. Inside stood a brass clock taller than a man. No hands, no numbers, just a single black dial spinning slowly, unevenly, as if listening to something. It pulsed like a heartbeat. He called it the signal clock. He said it could hear the heartbeat of the city and warn when that heartbeat was about to stop. Of course, nobody believed him until the first night it rang. A deep tone filled the city, too low for any bell. People woke, confused, windows rattled, and in the morning, Anton's neighbor, the woman who brought him bread and tea, was found dead in her chair. Her watch had stopped at midnight, exactly. People panicked. Some said it was a curse. Others said Anton had summoned something. Crowds gathered outside his workshop, shouting for him to destroy it. But Anton refused. He shouted through the shutters, "You don't destroy lightning because it strikes. You study it." 2 nights later, the signal came again, the same low hum that made the walls vibrate. That night, the mayor died in his sleep, then a priest. Each time a hum, each time another life gone, and each time the clock kept ticking. By dawn, the people had had enough. They broke the shop doors open, but Anton and the clock were gone. Days later, smoke rose from a warehouse on the river's edge. Firemen burst in, found the clock there, standing in the center of the flames, untouched. Every other thing had burned to ash except it. Cold, silent, still, ticking. Authorities seized it. The museum called it the Varga device and locked it deep in the Prague Museum of Obscure Sciences. And for nearly a century, it stayed silent, unmoving, unheard, until 2007. A night guard, Marek, noticed condensation on the inside of the glass display. He wiped it away and froze. The black dial was spinning again, and carved beneath the glass was a new engraving. A date, 2007. His birth date. He laughed nervously, told his supervisor it was a joke. But later that night, the security cameras caught something. A flicker of motion in the hall, a long shadow standing near the exhibit, long enough to trigger the lights. When guards arrived, the hall was empty, except for Marek's radio lying on the floor, still crackling, faint static. 2 days later, he didn't show up for work. They found his locker untouched, badge inside, half-eaten sandwich, and a note written in trembling handwriting. "The clock knows." The museum sealed the exhibit again, but over the next months, visitors whispered about strange things. The case was always cold, freezing to the touch. Sometimes they'd hear a faint heartbeat under the ticking, and sometimes a whisper. An audio engineer reviewing old surveillance noticed something odd. He slowed the clock's ticking to 1/16th speed and realized it wasn't random. It was Morse code. When decoded, the ticks spelled names. Names of people who had recently died in the city. Accidents, heart attacks, suicides, all in the same order. The museum called it coincidence, but 1 month later, the clock spelled another name, one no one recognized. A curator searched it online. It was a username of a tourist, a woman who had posted a photo of the clock 3 days earlier. She was found dead in her hotel room the next morning. No signs of struggle. Her phone still recording. The audio caught, faint ticking. After that, the museum shut down the entire wing, but the sound didn't stop. Guards said they could hear it through the walls, like breathing in metal. One night, during a blackout, emergency lights flickered, revealing something new on the dial. A second name. This one wasn't engraved. It was scratched in by hand. The guard's name, Marek. Since then, no one has opened the exhibit. No one cleans the glass. But every few years, someone reports hearing it again. A low hum under the city's midnight air. They call it the signal. They say if you hear it once, you'll never forget it. And if you hear it twice, you don't wake up. Some say Anton Varga tracked his soul inside the machine, maintaining it from within, forever listening to the heartbeat of the city. Others believe it's simpler, that the clock doesn't take lives, it just predicts them. A perfect, merciless mirror of fate. A few believe something darker, that the clock is alive, that every tick is not time passing, but someone listening. Visitors who've stood near it claim they feel their pulse shift, slowing, sinking to the ticking. One tourist fainted, another ran out screaming. The museum stopped giving tours after that. But security cameras still record every night at 12 o'clock, and at least once a month you can see the clock move. They say if you record the ticking and play it backwards, you can hear a voice whisper a sentence again and again. Time is not on your side. But the most terrifying part, the last Morse pattern ever decoded from the clock, wasn't a name. It was a word. Tomorrow. Subscribe if you're still listening, because some stories don't end. They count down.